For those of you who are new to my channel, I want to extend a warm welcome to you. Thanks for being here. We have a lot of really amazing opportunities to connect live today. In about 5 minutes, I'll be going live in our personal platform app for the Sophia Code Foundation, the Sophia Code movement. You can download the Sophia Code app for your Android phone or your iPhone. Sorry, I'm just catching my breath here. Welcome everyone for coming on live. And we're going to be doing our live Q&A in the app in a few minutes. And then following that, if you haven't signed up to be a Path of the Initiate member in our app, you can always join us for free for the Heaven on Earth Prayer Collective, which is happening at 1 p.m. Pacific. If you haven't gotten those free login details, you can join us online by getting your sign-up information at the SophiaCodeFoundation.org. That is our foundation website. And so I'm going to just answer a quick question today here on YouTube. But before I do that, how do you like the background? This is in honor of our soon to be approaching Leo season for the Lionsgate ceremony that we'll be offering on August 8th. And it's one of my favorite times of the year to channel. I absolutely love channeling for Lionsgate ceremony. Please be sure to sign up at the SophiaCodeFoundation.org. We would love to be at that community ceremony with you together on such a potent day to invoke your abundance consciousness. So, all right, I'm going to head over to our question really quick so that I can make sure I get it in for today's live. And thanks everyone for all the questions that you send in. My team really enjoys reviewing them and selecting those questions for our lives every month. Okay, so I'm going to read it from my phone. Jen is asking, hi Jen, whichever Jen you are out there in the multiverse that wrote this question. Jen is asking, how can we express our boundaries and redirect people in a way that really upholds the sanctity of our space and energy while encompassing the love we have for the people that we are setting these boundaries with? This inspiration. Oh, I'm inspired to ask you this question from experiencing how you have held the container of the Sophia Code app, and I would love to receive some insights and teachings about that. Okay. So I think, well, we get this question a lot, so I'm not going to go too far into it because we have a lot of content around expressing boundaries, and we have a whole lot of curriculum content that can support you in this that you can find in our Ascension Academy. But a couple of tips to consider is that if someone is actually healthy, they're going to be able to hear if you have a boundary with loving respect. They'll be able to respond, not react to you. Or if they do get triggered by your boundary, they are working on becoming a healthy person, they might be triggered at first and then realize that they have an opportunity to become closer to you by learning more about your boundary, and they soften and decide to have a conversation with you about it. So those are the pillars that you're looking for. You're looking to see if people are respectful enough to immediately hear that they've crossed a boundary unknowingly with you, or if they're willing to pause, slow down from their trigger, and be able to consider what you're asking about from your point of view, not just their point of view. So when people are struggling, either consciously or unconsciously with their boundaries, they're either, in the worst cases, they're either narcissistic or abusive or just so self-centered that they can't see anybody else's perspective other than their own. That's the worst case. But I think there's a lot of people in this world that just have no idea because how if they're crossing a boundary, because their boundaries are going to be different than your boundaries. Like, we all have different boundaries. We all have a unique comfortability with various people, various situations, various levels of connection that are unique to you and unique to others. And so when we're having a conversation about boundaries, we have to keep that in mind. That just because you assume that someone's going to know what feels good or safe or appropriate for you, very often assumptions get us in a lot of trouble. And so what I love about expressing boundaries is that it gives us an opportunity to practice clear communication, healthy communication, um, desired outcomes and expectations that are healthy for the intimacy and the authenticity of our relationship. So I would say taking a moment to pause and take a deep breath before you're about to express a boundary, and to invite your higher self to be a part of that expression, so that you're not and you're not just relying on your own human capacity to communicate your boundary. You're also welcoming in that divine part of your consciousness to be a part of the conversation. And it's the bigger part of you, it's your higher self that can help you see the perspective of someone else, where you realize, oh wow, they really crossed a line here, but through the eyes of my higher self, I can see this person has literally no idea that they just crossed a line for me. So even though I might want to be harsh or triggered, I can slow down, I can take a deep breath, or leave the room for a moment and come back, so you can gather your feelings and your thoughts and come back and just clearly communicate. Always giving people the benefit of the doubt first is a great lead in. So, for example, you could say, hey, before I share something with you, I want you to know that I have a fairly good intuition that you have no idea that you may have no idea that how much you just hurt my feelings, or how much or how uncomfortable I feel with what you just did. So I want to start this conversation by sharing that there's a good chance you have no idea how I feel right now. And are you open to hearing what my experience is in this moment and what I need in this moment? Now, if something's really healthy, they will hit the brakes and slow down, and they will say, oh my God, I had no idea. Thank you for being so generous. I would absolutely like to hear what what's upsetting you, or where I crossed the line. And that gives you an opportunity to speak from your own experience and why something works for you or doesn't work for you. And if someone's really crossing a hard boundary for you, and they've done this before, you don't have to explain why something doesn't work for you, because that can actually get you into more of a codependent dynamic. What you can do is you can simply say, this doesn't work for me, and this is what would work for me. Are you available for what works for me? And if somebody tries to kind of arm wrestle you out of, well, tell me why it doesn't work for you, you don't have to explain that, because the statement is clear. This doesn't work for me. This is what would work for me. This is how we could move forward together. And if we can't come to some kind of agreement, then like, I'm going to take a step back here. And I would say, when you express your boundaries, when you practice expressing clear boundaries, it's going to feel, you're going to have all of your feelings about it. There's going to be days where you might feel scared, frustrated, overwhelmed, as you might feel as though you can't fully articulate the boundary or the feelings or your own experience without feeling panicked. And it's like, expressing boundaries, it takes practice, it takes time. Um, and every time we like lean into the uncomfortability of how a cross boundary feels, we're giving people an opportunity to show up in a healthy way. We're giving people an opportunity to grow. When a boundary is crossed, and you do not communicate it, you are not giving people an opportunity to communicate, to practice their own communication, to improve their communication, to expand their consciousness, to actually include your perspective in the context of their worldview. Communication really invites everyone to the table to step up to the next level. And so I think the best advice that I can give is to focus on your own experience, to focus on what works or doesn't work for you, to invoke your higher self, to pray and connect with the ascended masters and God, whatever you call God. If there's someone in particular that you know you've really struggled with boundaries, and ask for divine interventions of support and help and spiritual guidance. You can also work with a therapist or a coach. And this is the get to, like, this kind of inner work is so essential. It can feel squeezy and spicy and very uncomfortable, but the more that you practice it, the more you are learning how to live in your most authentic empowerment, your most authentic embodiment. Um, and that's only going to create space in your life for you to experience more and more healthy dynamics, whether it's with new relationships that now have the space to come in. Because if you do not practice speaking up for your boundaries ever, you are creating the space in your life to only live, to only attract and live around people that are going to keep crossing your boundaries. The interesting thing about pushing back is that in the pushback, you're no longer as suffocated by people who think it's okay to like glom on you or to take too much from you. So when you open up that space, people who are capable of being more conscious and healthy in their relationship with you, you know, there's the space for them to come in and actually treat you in a new way. That's exciting because you've been practicing boundaries. So, and it can also create a new space for individuals, like I said, that you have longstanding relationships with, to show up in a new way, in unexpected, with unexpected breakthroughs. So thank you, everyone, for joining us for today's live. I'm really excited for us to be working with the Syrian White Lions on August 8th, talk about learning boundaries from a spiritual totem. Lion medicine, lioness medicine is one of the most powerful totems that we can mentor with from the animal kingdom. And I'm so looking forward to this live broadcast. Please be sure to sign up for our Lionsgate ceremony happening on August 8th. This is one of our yearly community gatherings, and you can get your tickets at the SophiaCodeFoundation.org. It's always so lovely to connect with you. I wish I had more time, but given that YouTube kind of went multiverse sideways, I'm just grateful that I was able to connect with you today. And I'm going to head over now to the Sophia Code app to be with our Path of the Initiate members. And I look forward to connecting with you there. And then, of course, for our free live Heaven on Earth Prayer Collective happening at 1 p.m. Pacific. We'll see you all in a little bit. Thanks, everyone. Lots of love.